a countermeasure of once we get attacked, you join. No, NATO's supposed to be once America's engaged or once Europe is engaged, you join. You know, we're not supposed to ask you. It's like if you're going to a street fight and somebody punches you in the face. Oh, no, we're not going to hit your enemy once he punches you in the face. We're only going to join the fight once somebody else joins the fight, and it's 2 against 1. Well, we're not asking NATO to be 2 against 1 or 3 against 1. We're telling NATO, no, we're spending money every year on the safety of the European Union. We're spending billions of dollars. So your ass better join when we join. We're not saying that we need to ask you for permission to join, right? You got to join today. You got to join right now, because we're talking about war. We're not talking about buying groceries. We're not talking about working at a telephone company. We're not talking about mail couriers. We're not talking about Haitians and Dominicans. We're talking about war, and we're talking about billions of dollars from the United States citizen, 350 million Americans, going to NATO every single year, and for them to be this coward and say, yo, we're not going to join the fight unless you guys get attacked directly. Well, we already been attacked directly and on the basis that we have across the world. So what is it that you're actually giving us? And again, I'm not saying we should leave NATO. I'm not saying we should leave NATO, but we need to rearrange our arrangement with NATO. We need to essentially improve our arrangement with NATO of what actually they offer us and what we actually offer them. Because it seems to me that we're offering NATO a lot more than they're offering us. So if we're spending 70% of NATO, we got to get a lot more money. We got to get a lot more services for our money than what NATO's offering right now. That's all I'm saying. As a U.S. Marine veteran, and that's my 2 cents on it. And if obviously, I mean, hey, who would know more about NATO than military member? I was an ex-military member. My brother's an ex-military member. My grandfather, my uncle, military. So who would know more than military what the benefits are for the U.S.? If America's paying 70% of NATO and we're providing the services, that means we need to get into a new arrangement. Thank you, Lauren, for the like. We need to get into a new arrangement with NATO, right, to essentially recalibrate these costs that Americans are paying for NATO. Thank you very much. That's all I have to say on this matter, because if we're paying the bulk load, right? Am I right? If we're paying the bulk load for NATO, oh, they get to decide. They get to decide when they join the fight. No, they don't get to decide. If there's a fight, you join. That's what it's supposed to be. If that's not the case, then we got to drop how much money we spend because we're protecting them, right? Because the whole thing with NATO is to the protection of the European Union against Russia. If people don't know what it is, I'm informing you today, right? The whole purpose of NATO is to give leverage to America globally and to protect the European Union from Russia, right? And that's why we send money to Ukraine and we send soldiers out. And a lot of people talk about Israel. A lot of people want to talk about Israel. Oh, Israel's bad, Israel this. Well, the only partner that we have that we've had consistently since the 1940s is Israel. So yeah, Israel does some dumb stuff here and then, but that's really the only consistent partner we've had until recently when Trump came into office. And now we have new partners. Now we have Saudi Arabia. Now we have Oman. Now we have Bahrain. Now we have all these other members, right? And so look at what Sanchez is doing, the Prime Minister of Spain. He's going against NATO. He's going against America. He's saying, no, we're not buying F-35s. Brother, why will you not buy F-35s? You're saying you're a member. You're saying you're a member of NATO. You're spending billions of dollars on NATO. You're a European member, and now you're saying you don't want to buy F-35s? Spain doesn't want to buy F-35, and you want to buy Chinese planes. You're a NATO member, Spain, and you want to buy some Chinese planes? Make that make sense. How are you a NATO member and you're aligning, not only are you aligning with Iran, not only is Sanchez, the Prime Minister of Spain, aligning with Iran and with the French, he's aligning with Hezbollah, he's aligning with Iran, he's aligning with China. Brother, why are you even a member of NATO? Why are you even a member of the EU? If you're aligning with Iran, Hezbollah, the Houthis, he's aligning with everyone who's not a member of NATO. Like, why are you even in NATO? Like, I just don't understand. who is Sanchez? I just want to ask people, who is the Prime Minister Sanchez? Is this dude from Palestine? Is he part Lebanese? Is he part Syrian? Is he part Iranian? Because it doesn't even make sense. How is he the Prime Minister of Spain and everything he does is against NATO, Israel, and the US? You can't be that stupid. Either you stupid or you purposely with the other side. Either you stupid or you with the other side. You can't tell me that Prime Minister Sanchez, he's stupid. He's not stupid. He's smart. How did he become Prime Minister? He's not stupid. So either one, he's either part of Iran, right? Because even the missiles that they're sending, right, to the allies of America has his name on it. Either one, he's not with the NATO, right? Or two, he's benefiting of what's going on in the war. You can't be a member of NATO and then say, oh, no, you know what? F NATO, F the US, F Israel. Brother, what stance is that? You're the Prime Minister of Spain. That's a European Union. That's part of NATO. How is Prime Minister Sanchez talking about, oh, no, listen, I'm against US, but at the same time, he's against Israel, and at the same time, he's against NATO, and at the same time, he's against Turkey, and at the same, he's against everybody in NATO but Iran and Hezbollah. Like, how does that even make sense? How does that even make sense? How are you the Prime Minister of Spain, and then you allied with France only, the only NATO that we even seen? Because guess what? Guess what? The King of Spain is not really Spanish. And this is the crazy part that nobody even talk about in Spain. Nadie quiere hablar de esto en España. El rey de España no es ni español. Es de tipo de Francia. So we got two traitors in the European Union that everybody can see clearly right now. We have the King of Spain and we have the Prime Minister of Spain. Two traitors in the European Union that are part of NATO. So tell me, why are these guys part of NATO? To me, it seems like they're part of NATO just to collect information, intel. Because why else? Why else would they be part of NATO if not to collect information to give it to the enemy? Because if everything you say, you close off U.S. airspace to Spain, you close off, you don't buy F-35s, you align with Iran's mission, you go against Israel, you go